Hey guys, it's Pineapple, and in this video, pretty much, I don't have anything written down or anything prepared, but I'm going to be talking about my thoughts for that trailer that we just watched, that My Hero Academia Season 4 trailer, what am I talking about? The Heroes Rising, the second movie trailer. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I just reacted to it, so go find it. I'll probably card it, or, it'll be somewhere. Go watch that first. I don't really give any of my thoughts or anything really too deeply after having watched the trailer. I've watched it now all the way by itself, thanks to Audrey for the translations. I'm making it's a mess. It's a lot of stuff going on. So let's get the thoughts out of the way after that intro that I'm going to make you sit through again. Hit it! Okay, so the way we're going to do this here, because I don't do this very often, is I'm just going to, I'm probably going to switch back and forth between this scene here and this here, where I have, the movie trailer in the background. We actually should start off this way, because there is so much that goes on in this trailer. Let's get to, and I'm just going to use this as screenshots. So, first off, I'm going to do a separate video about exactly where in the timeline this movie takes place, because we know where it takes place. So I'm going to do a video. One second, let me check something. All right. I'm going to do a video pretty much explaining where the movie takes place in the timeline, because there seems to be some confusion with some folks, a little bit of back and forth with people on Twitter where I'm just telling them when the movie takes place and they're not really just taking my word for it, which is completely fair, right? So we're going to talk about where the movie takes place and how all that stuff occurs. But here what we see is the villains are transporting something. Now, if you notice, you can easily see Dobby's blue flames in the background, right? So there's some altercation or something going on here. And we know that the beginning of this movie is the villains transporting something we see in this trailer. If we can... We see... And now look. One second. Because there is somebody we see. We see some hero here with like a golden hair and a gold string, I guess trying to stop what's going on with the villains trying to transport in this big truck. Why? Come on, VLC, don't do this. There we go. Okay. Now Hawks is here with the truck obviously collapsed, but we know from the synopsis of the movie that Nines is in this transport. We actually see him right here. There he is, ready to be transported. He's in his suit. He escapes wearing all this stuff. Now, this trailer was super, super hyped for me because it gave us a lot of weird questions and it answered a few things for me. So first, the first thing we learn right here from Ujiko, Daruma Ujiko, the doctor that tells Deku that he doesn't have his quirk. Remember that theory? Amazing. He tells us that Nines has 8 quirks that he's stolen, and now there's a 9th quirk that he's able to use. So that's why I guess he's calling him 9, right? Like all the high-end Nomus have nicknames like Hood and stuff like that, you would imagine. So since this is pretty much what the doctor referred to as, when we're introduced to the high-end Nomu, the doctor says that they're only a step closer to his true best creation. And that was Horikoshi setting up 9 from all the way back then in the manga, from the very beginning of the League of Villains arc. So that was, a little bit of future side on Horikoshi's behalf. They probably were working in the movie by that point, so he knew to start tying in little things. Because we also see 9 later on in the manga when Shigaraki is talking about, it's probably that same chapter actually, when Shigaraki is talking about wanting to destroy everything and he's in the background. Now, Ujiko is saying that 9 has 9 different quirks, and that's probably why his nickname is that. So I'm assuming we're going to see all of these different quirks in the movie, right? Like you can't introduce a character in the movie that has all these different quirks if you're not gonna like have them show all of them, unless 9 survives and then is folded into the My Hero Academia manga. Because once again, it's really easy to make the case that this movie is canon. Horikoshi's working on it. It's set up in the manga, which is obviously canon, right? It's set up completely. There's stuff that's written into the manga specifically for this movie to occur, and we know the time, like we know the space where it happens. You know what I mean? Like we just have to see what happens in the movie, and if anything ridiculous enough happens that it just wouldn't make sense. Like hopefully at some point Deku and Bakugo have a little minor conversation in the manga about the events that transpired in this movie. I just think the only reason that they haven't yet is because it's kind of a spoiler until the movie's out, right? You don't want them to be like, yeah, remember that time you passed me one for all so I could use Howitzer Impact on 9? Oh, yeah, that was really good. That was really cool. You know what I mean? Like, it would just be a complete spoiler. So that's why I don't expect them to have any sort of conversation like that right now, or for any of that to really be acknowledged. But you know, I do expect it to be acknowledged at some point in the manga, because it's weird. It's like this movie has to take place after even like season 5 content. It's so ridiculous. We're gonna get into it. So let's get beyond all that. Now, this is the island that we know the UA students are going to. This was also set up in the manga because we were told that there was some weird sort of program that Aizawa was in charge of, or working with Nezu, to have the students go on, and we see all the students are going to this weird tropical island. For some reason, we have Kiribaku and Bakugo's feet. Just going to skip past that scene. And we have Deku, you know, characters. Now, look, one little thing I have about this movie is I was hoping that in every scene you would really see that movie quality animation direction, because, you know, like you watch all the older Naruto movies or like older anime movies, it always looks a little better than the anime, right? Like in most of the scenes, it always looks quite a bit better than the anime. Like maybe the characters are all more on model or something. Like there's something about it that gives it a little more of that ufotable sprinkle. You know what I mean? And this movie, I mean, there definitely are scenes that look like they do have that, but I think this is going to be very similar to the first movie, where there are a lot of scenes where it just looks exactly like the anime. But I will say, at the very least, the backgrounds are beautiful. Look at this back. This is gorgeous. Like, it's not just some plain cityscape, you know what I mean? They're on this island, and there's houses, there's people. Like, I just think this is really pretty. And the sky looks amazing. The clouds look great. The mountains, like, you could see, I don't know. I know I'm being a fanboy, I guess, but I thought that was really nice. All Might looks really weird here, though. So we have the students going on this island. Here we have a view of the island. Now, I was worried because later on in the trailer, we see Nines is destroyed. Is it Nines or is it Nine? I hope I haven't been saying Nines the whole time, but I bet and it's not, right? But I bet I have been, and I'm going to continue. He is like destroying a city and causing lightning to come down and destroy a town and spread darkness throughout it. And I was like wondering if that somehow happened in, like, you know, Japan, like in not Japan, but like in the main area where our heroes existed and all that stuff takes place in. But as you can see on the bottom of this GTA style map, this looks like Los Santos, low key. Why does this look like a Grand Theft Auto map? If you look on the bottom of the Grand Theft Auto map that is this island, you can see that there's a big city area. So that's probably where all those skyscrapers and all that stuff is. But I do hope that we get to see a good amount of this island, just as far as like all the different locations, because it's good to see our heroes in different locales, right? You want to see them fighting on a beach. You want to see them fighting in the town. You want to see them fighting in the forest, in some old ancient temple. You know what I mean? Like, how cool would it be if Bakugo and Deku and the other students had to fight some villains in like an ancient Mayan temple or something? You know what I mean? Just visually, I like that kind of stuff. I really liked it in Soul Eater when they would just go to like some random place and they would go inside of a book and all the visuals would be ridiculous. So they'd find some temple or go to the moon. I really, really want my hero to, like, at some point, I know right now because they're in school, I mean, there's only so much you can do. But at some point, I want them to start exploring all the different areas so we can see our heroes operating in different, you know, in different environments. Because, I mean, obviously everyone likes seeing superheroes in the city, you know, fighting off giant threats. But I think it's also, there's a lot to be said for seeing them in jungles, you know what I mean? Like, the Black Panther movie was really popular because you got to see Black Panther in the jungle, you know, doing some work. That's what they marketed it with in the trailers. So I would love to see that, is all I'm saying. I know I'm kind of going on a little rant about that. But we have Aizawa. We have real hero work. And now these kids, this is like a random pair of children, like brother and sister. I don't think we've seen their parents one time. But the whole thing of them is the girl's a little bit like Bakugo. The boy's a little bit like Deku. The girl's like, yeah, everything's going to be all right. No worries. This town is really awesome. I'm really proud of myself. And the little brother even kind of looks like Deku. And he's a little timid, but idolizes heroes. You know what I mean? Like, let me take a drink. He idolizes heroes, just like Deku does. And we see here, what's coming for these two children is destruction. This town is destroyed. There's skyscrapers on fire, lightning raining down, and a guy doing this. If a guy is doing this in the middle of a city while stuff is burning down, you know what I mean? Like, what do? You gotta do something. It's not good. I keep trying. This is a good shot of him. Look, his face is all covered in shadow. This trailer really serves as just us getting to see how badass this guy Nine is. I wonder if this is Yuki Hayashi. Because I wonder, because there looks to be some sort of texture. I don't know. Who knows, right? But this is just, come on, it's madness. This looks like a Soul Eater character. It's just madness. It's madness. It's madness going on. And now look, all right, so this is something that I touched on in the reaction. I know I'm a little all over the place because I don't have anything written down. Right here in this scene, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 red lights. And thank you to someone in my comments section for making me realize, because, well, let me get to that part in a second. Let me set this up. A zone of darkness covers the city that we know 9 is in, right? We know 9 is in this city, destroying things. There's fire, there's lightning, I'm sure there's all sorts of other stuff. So 9 is in this city. We have these 8 red lights spread throughout the city. And we know that 9 has 9 quirks, you know what I mean? 9 different abilities. So what are the odds that these 8 lights somehow, some way, represent one of 9's quirks, or one of 9's quirks, right? But 8 doesn't sound like the right number, right? But someone pointed out to me that obviously the big red light in the middle, I'm just leaving out, because all these little lights are like, little small red dots, but that light in the middle, that huge range of light, could be 9 himself, and it would make sense why, him using whatever his most powerful quirk is or powerful power is would be the huge red light, and there would be these small connecting red lights. Now, what these lights could be, I don't know. Maybe 9 passes one of his quirks to each of his allies, and they all fight a member of 1A, because we do see, where is it? We do see them breaking into teams, you know what I mean? I wish the 1B students were here. I wish they were here! Yeah, we do see them breaking into teams. Ojiro and Kodo look like they were hurt here. That's funny. And Bakugo's gauntlets are probably broken. We do see them breaking into teams, and we know that there are more villains in 9's gang, right? Like, where are they? Where are they? Hey, you see? There's this Medusa-looking chick from Marvel Comics. There's this guy who could just be wrapped up in Medusa's hair. No, he has a sword. So there's other members to 9's gang. I think there was like a giant Rapide from Tales of Vesperia reference character. So you know what I mean? Like, there's definitely something going on with these red lights spreading through the city. I can't really theorize what it could be. You know what I mean? Like, maybe he's gonna destroy the town by putting something in 9 different places. Maybe he's trying to steal all the quirks in like a radius or something. I don't know. It just looks like it's very, very, very not good. And especially, look, this frame right here is very not good. Our 2 heroes, the 2 people that really were expecting to take this guy down, aren't really having an easy time. And that's kind of the theme throughout this entire trailer. 9 he's a problem. Because, look, he's lifting his hand here. Deku literally calls him they get wrecked. He calls him, like, All for One Junior, pretty much. He's like, All for One. Because 9 can take quirks. He can steal quirks. And he has 9 of them. So, I mean, I don't know. We don't know if he can give them away. I'm speculating he might give 1 each to his crew members or whatever crew members. What is this, One Piece? But you know what I mean? Like, I'm expecting something like that to occur. But, it's just really strange. Because this also teaches us a lot about what's going to be going on to Shigaraki. Now, this here is 9. 9 in Ujiko's big tank, right? Now, Shigaraki very recently in the manga is undergoing some sort of surgery or something. And Ujiko tells him in 4 months, you're going to go through a lot of pain, but in 4 months, all the power in the world will be available to you, even One for All. Anything will be at your hands. Now, what does that sound like to you? That sounds like a writer telling you, literally, if you just move words around and, interpret, it just sounds like Ujiko's basically saying that Shigaraki is somehow going to have All for One. Now, I was speculating this and talking about this with friends before this trailer came out. This trailer just kind of dropped suddenly. I was speculating this and saying that I think Shigaraki is going to get All for One. You guys saw in my spoiler reaction, or my spoiler discussion, I think Shigaraki is going to somehow get All for One. I've been saying that for a little while. It's not just me. It's a very common theory. I'm not trying to, claim it. Don't attack me. So we're wondering how that's going to happen, right? Now, like I've said, Ujiko has to have a way to copy people's quirks, right? Like, he definitely has to. And if that's the case, why wouldn't he copy All for One, the quirk? while he's spending all these years with All For One. Now, we learned in the most recent chapter that All For One is actually quite a complicated quirk, because the more you add on to it, the more, like, and the more it's passed on, and there's something complicated. It's comparable to One For All, where, like, the more it's something that can be passed on or something. I don't know. I'm very confused. I have to reread the chapter because it's blowing my mind. I feel like I'm reacting to both things at once. But pretty much what I'm saying here, my main point is, as I go off the rails, is that everyone was a little bit worried from the recent chapter because they felt like Shigaraki was going to turn into like a bug, because in the recent chapter, there's a panel where he looks like he has giant butterfly wings. But I think what we're going to see is Shigaraki turning into just you know, his hair is probably going to go finally all white, anime please. And he's going to have All For One, pretty much, just like Nines has here. Let me check my OBS. So I'm making sure I don't have a booger on my face. Sorry. But yeah, he's gonna have. I think he's just gonna go through the same process that Nine went through to acquire the power to steal quirks and whatnot. And it's just like, at that point, what's stopping Shigaraki? Shigaraki is potentially gonna have the power to, because we don't know how this is going to mix, right? The stockpiling quirk passed with the quirk to be able to pass on quirks and became One For All. So what happens if the ability to steal quirks is fused with the ability to decay things with that are touching things that you touch, right? Like, would Shigaraki be able to steal someone's quirk by touching the ground and having the decay touch them? Right? Like, what's the interaction with the quirk? Would he be able to do that? And if so, that means that anyone whose quirk Shigaraki takes is just dead. There's no givebacks. I want that to be the case so bad, because fans of this channel know I don't want Shigaraki to be redeemed ever. Let it be that he can steal people's quirks and they just get deleted when it happens. I want him to splatter all my, destroy him. Like, have his guts splattered everywhere. Sorry, my nose. I want him to just, like, get rid of All Might. All Might in the recent chapter looks horrified. Sorry. So, this movie's going to be great. Overall. Those are my opinions. This movie's going to be great. I'm so very happy that it takes place after recent events in the manga, and it fits in with the story. And I feel like this is just Horikoshi letting all the anime-only fans know, hey, you know, thank you for appreciating the anime. The anime is going to be really good this season. You know what I mean? I'm sure by the time the movie is out, we'll actually be into the meat, or probably by the at the end of the overhaul arc. And I feel like this is just Horikoshi saying, enjoy the overhaul arc, the internships arc, but start reading the manga. Let's catch up to that manga. Let's get everybody on the same page, because I want you all to go see the movie, and you obviously don't want to be spoiled, right? So I think that's a fine invitation. I think people should be reading the My Hero Academia manga. I think this is also kind of a little bit like, you know, it was definitely not in reaction to how Demon Slayer started selling incredibly well after having some good animated stuff. But, you know, it's kind of along those lines very similarly. Like, if you put something really hype out that's going to make people want to read the manga, people might actually start reading the manga. And we don't have a volume for My Hero Academia until next year, because there's the next volume is delayed. So who knows what's going to be in that volume, how much it's going to cover, what the cover is going to be like. We don't know anything, but I'm sure it's going to be really interesting to see what the sales of that volume are after the movie. And of course, here we just have this greatness of Bakugo doing like a howitzer impact and destroying his arm probably, and Deku doing the same thing. Not the same thing, but, you know, doing a smash with that destroyed arm. And let me just show you one frame that has me very excited. One second. Look at this. You see like the morphed face on Deku? You know what I mean? You can tell that this scene in motion is going to be great. And the other thing I love about this scene, the lighting is all dramatic. So it looks like Black Suit Deku, doesn't it? Doesn't it look like Black Suit Deku? And this is before he really destroys his arm, because he has both of his gloves on. He has the new Air Force gloves on. And Kagi Films on Twitter was like, you didn't mention that he has the Black Whip gloves in the first video. And it's because, you know, we've seen that he has the Black Whip gloves. He technically gets them in Season 4. And they're they're not really edited much after that. He just kind of clips them onto his gauntlets. It has the little clips and the little holes and everything. And the gloves are for his Air Force attacks, obviously, right? But the holes also kind of double as a place that he can funnel and focus his black whip through, because Deku likes to do mental image training and all that stuff. So it works out both ways. Salute to Hatsume is what I said for having something that worked both ways like that. And yeah, we have Deku here. Black hair, you see what I mean? Like the lighting, black hair, Deku, black suit, red gauntlets. I love it. As a JoJo fan, come on. I love seeing dramatic colors and changes like that, and the lightning is still green. And it looks great. It looks awesome. And Deku looks mad. He looks like he's gonna break every single one of those rocks that's flying. So those have been my thoughts mostly in general. Intro. Why does that always happen, huh? Those have been pretty much my general thoughts about My Hero Academia, my Heroes Rising. Sorry, it's very early in the morning for me. I did not get much sleep. I was pretty much up most of the night thinking about reacting to this, but I didn't want to do a reaction in the middle of the night, because, you know, I live with family and I'm being respectful of that. And also I know I'm going to yell and I'm going to be very loud. And that doesn't really work at 4 a.m. So I hope you guys enjoyed my little breakdown and my little discussion talking about it. I'm definitely going to talk about it more. There's stuff to talk about. I want to theorize on Nine's quirks. I want to theorize on a few things that have happened. And I want to explain again where this takes place in the timeline. So I hope you enjoy hearing me ramble and kind of go off. And, you know, I sound like I'm just out of sorts, but I apologize. So I love you guys very much. This has been me. It's Pineapple. Peace.